Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Baxter Student Ambassador Program webinar of our 2022 season. My name is Dan McDonald, Sales and Marketing Development Associate with Baxter Media, and I'm here with Sierra Bowerman, one of our student finalists from Fanshawe College. Now, just before we get into things, I'd like to give an enthusiastic shout out to our program sponsors this year. Bring that slide up here. We have Manulife, Propel, powered by Tourism HR Canada, ACTA, the Association of Canadian Travel Agencies, TIO, the Tourism Industry Association of Ontario, and SCAL Canada. Thank you for helping to make BSAP a continued success. I'd also like to let everyone know that at the end of this webinar, you'll have the chance to submit a question or two to Sierra. To do so, please type them into the Q&A section of the public chat box, which will be towards the right-hand side of your screen, and those questions will be answered in due time. And without further ado, I will now hand things over to Sierra Bowerman. Welcome, Sierra. Thanks for being here.
Hi, thanks for having me.
There we go.
All right. So I did my presentation on Spain. Can you see that well? Is it moving okay?
Yeah, that's working. It's on slide 2.
All right. So Spain is usually one of the most popular tourist destinations. And in 2019, so the year right before the pandemic, it was the second most visited country, only after France. This country has a lot to offer for different tourists, which is why it's so popular. A lot of tourists go there for the culture, the history of it. They have a lot of events there, and it's also a popular beach destination because of its location on the Mediterranean. So in the pictures, you can see some of the cultural effects on it. In the top 2 photos, you can see some of the popular churches they have there, and on the bottom, you can see the Islamic influences on it. So here are some of the most popular cities to go to in Spain. First is Barcelona. So some of the major attractions there include La Sagrada Familia. So that's Barcelona's most iconic landmark and is the most popular landmark in all of Spain. It was designed by Antoni Gaudí to honor the Holy Family and has been under construction for 140 years. Park Güell, which you can see in the photo there, is the most iconic park in the city. It was also designed by Gaudí in 1900 in the Catalan modernism style that he's so famous for. Its famous mosaics depict reptiles and form benches, whereas the buildings were made to look like gingerbread houses inspired by Hansel and Gretel. The Gothic Quarter was built in the Middle Ages and is still standing today. In this area of the city is the Cathedral de Barcelona, which was built in the 13th century. Also in the Gothic Quarter are Roman ruins in the basement of the Urban History Museum. Just outside of the Gothic Quarter is La Ramblas, which is a popular street filled with markets and is very popular for tourists. And also in Barcelona is the Olympic Stadium that was built in 1927, but was renovated and hosted the 1992 Summer Olympics. One of their other most popular cities is Madrid. That's their capital. So the Royal Palace of Madrid, sits on the ground of an old Arabian fortress and the palace was built in the 1700s. It features over 3,000 rooms, including the main staircase, the throne hall, the royal chapel, and the royal armory. The Prado Museum holds the world's most famous Spanish art. It has been used as a museum since 1785. Puerta del Sol is the main square in Madrid and has been the center of the city's cultural, economic, and intellectual activities. The Santiago Bernabeu Stadium is home of the very famous soccer team Real Madrid and is the second largest stadium in Spain. Another popular city in Spain is Seville. The Plaza de España is a beautiful square in Seville that has a mosaic bench dedicated to each of the cities in Spain. In the center, there's a huge fountain surrounded by a canal, which you can see in the photo on the right. The Santa Cruz district is the historic area of Seville that has beautiful buildings from the Middle Ages and orange trees blooming in the streets. The Giralda shows the rich history of Spain. It was once a mosque and is now a church and has been in use for more than 800 years. Visitors are able to climb the ramps of its huge bell tower and get an amazing view of the city, which is the other photo on this slide. One of their other cities is Valencia. So similar to the Giralda, the Valencia Cathedral has been in use of many religions over the years. It was first a Roman temple, then a mosque, and now it's a church, and is said to be home of the Holy Grail. The Serranos Towers were built in the Middle Ages as defensive gates to the old city. They were used as a prison for people of nobility between the 16th and 19th centuries, and now it's a popular tourist attraction, which you can see on the bottom. The National Ceramics Museum hosts pieces that date back to the 1700s and has pieces by Picasso, and they also have merchandise from the Silk Road.
Getting a brief connection drop, Sierra.
This is the City of Arts and Sciences monuments, such as Europe's biggest aquarium, a 3D cinema, a science museum, an opera house, and much more.
Sierra, sorry to interrupt. Would you be able to just repeat, just for the part, just from the last 30 seconds? There was a brief internet connection, and I'm not sure whose end that was on.
Oh, okay.
Thanks. Thank you so much. It's working again now.
No problem. Okay. So the National Ceramics Museum hosts pieces that date back to the 1700s and has pieces by Picasso and merchandise from the Silk Road. This photo on the right, you can see the outside of the building there. And then the City of Arts and Sciences monuments buildings have become iconic in themselves, although they host interesting things such as Europe's biggest aquarium, a 3D cinema, a science museum, an opera house, and much more. Now on to some of the events they have. During the first 2.5 weeks of March, Valencia celebrates La Fallas, which combines art, tradition, and humor. This started as the tradition of burning wooden posts to hold lights for winter on March 19th and evolved into intricate wooden designs that look like people. Towards the end of the festivities, the sculptures are set on fire to welcome in the spring, except the ones that the judges deem best. And here you can see some of the fallas in the photos there. Another event that Spain is known for is Semana Santa, which is a religious festival that takes place over the week of Easter in all cities across the country. Long parade processions carry effigies of religious figures to churches and gradually gets more cheerful as the week goes on when they commemorate the death and celebrate the resurrection. So La Tomatina, the event's origins are unclear. However, each year since the 70s, thousands of people have been gathering in a small city just outside of Valencia to participate in a food fight with overripe tomatoes. The festival is said to be in honor of the city's patron saints. Boliancillero is a safer and more cost-effective replacement to Spain's famous running of the bulls. There's a town just outside of Madrid that replaced the bulls with 10-foot wide, 440-pound balls that roll down the hill and chase the competitors instead of the bulls. So add-ons or day trips from Spain, which are really popular. People go to the country beside it, Portugal, specifically to the capital, Lisbon. Some of their tourist attractions include Castelo de São Jorge, which is one of the city's most popular tourist destinations. It has a museum and an archaeological site that dates back to the Middle Ages. They also have the Torre de Belém, which is the city's most popular attraction, and it's a symbol of Portugal's Age of Discovery built in the 1500s. So just on the south tip of Spain is Gibraltar, which is a territory of the UK. Some of their attractions include the Rock of Gibraltar, which is the name of the large cliff that the city is built below. It is also used as a bridge British air and naval base to guard the Strait of Gibraltar, which has the only access to the Atlantic from the Mediterranean. You can see the Rock of Gibraltar in the first photo. Europa Point is one of the southernmost points in Europe, and you can look across the Strait of Gibraltar and see Morocco in northern Africa. St. Michael's Cave is a famous cave system underneath the Rock of Gibraltar, and they even put on concerts and other performances in the cave. The Moorish Castle. So this is the remains of an Islamic community built in the 10th century and offers great views of the town and the waterfront, which is in the second photo. The Great Siege Tunnels were dug out of the Rock of Gibraltar by the British during the 1700s. They were dug with small windows so that cannons and guns could be fired at invaders while staying safe inside the rock, which is the tunnel on the bottom. And I also put that photo in of the monkeys there because that's another popular thing that the tourists like to see when they go. So now we're on to information for the travel agents. So tour operators, Canadian tour operators that have trips to Spain include G Adventures. They have many regular tours across Spain and into other countries, as well as hiking and sailing tours. Trafalgar offers tours to Spain and other major Iberian cities, including a tour that is only for women. And Globus has tours that go around Spain and other countries, but they also have wine tours and faith-based tours. And then that's a photo of the cathedral that's said to have the Holy Grail. So what's in it for the travel agent? Most of the tour operators operating in Canada and in Spain offer commission. So ones such as Hidden in Spain, and then popular Canadian operators that have commission are Canada Vacations, WestJet Vacations, Transat Holidays, and Globus. And even insurance companies offer commissions such as Manulife Travel Insurance. And then this is a photo of Alhambra, which is in the city Granada, and it shows more of the country's Islamic influences. Tools for travel agents. So a really good one is travel.gc.ca. That's a very helpful government website that's updated regularly. They cover basically everything you need to know about going there. So things like safety and security, entry and exit requirements, health, laws and culture, natural disasters and climate, and assistance for travelers while they're in that country. And then this is one of the old Islamic mills in Spain. And here we have the importance of travel insurance. So injuries can take place anywhere. They usually occur when you least expect them. So travel medical insurance covers things such as ambulance services, doctor bills, hospital and operating room charges, x-rays, examinations, treatments, lab tests, anesthetics, and medications. Comprehensive travel insurance includes medical coverage, as well as trip cancellation, trip delay, emergency medical evacuation, baggage loss, and much more. Sometimes it is necessary to purchase additional coverage, especially while traveling during COVID, because that's not covered by regular travel insurance. Emergency medical evacuation coverage should also be recommended if the client isn't buying comprehensive coverage, because it will allow them to be taken to the closest adequate medical facility. The cost of medical travel insurance depends on the client's age, the length of their trip, and the limits to the coverage that they chose. And certain things aren't covered under travel insurance, so things such as pre-existing conditions, intoxication, and dangerous activities. And then this is another photo of the Plaza de España. And then here are my citations.
Thank you so much, Sierra. That was excellent.
Thank you.
We can open it up now for questions in case the audience has a question or two they'd like to ask. And you guys can submit those to either the chat box or the Q&A box on the right-hand side of the screen. Sierra, what made you choose Spain as your topic for this presentation?
I had been to Spain. That was the last big vacation I had before COVID. All those photos were mine, actually, from the presentation.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
That's amazing. And Julie says, well done as always, Sierra.
Oh, thank you, Julie.
And Sierra, what would you consider to be your dream job?
My dream job would be a travel agent. I love planning the vacations for myself, so I know that, if I got to do that every day, I think that would be really fun, and helping people put together their dream vacations.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good answer.
Thanks.
I don't see any other questions popping up here, but I'll give it another 30 seconds or so just in case anything else gets submitted.
All right.
Oh, here we go. Carol Greenwood from Tayo is asking, what do you think is Spain's largest competitor as a destination?
So for things like culture, I know that a lot of the other European countries are very popular for the history, and they're very popular as a like beach getaway kind of thing. So for North Americans, they'd be more drawn to the Caribbean, and for Europeans, they have other countries such as they'd go to like the French Riviera sometimes too.
Definitely, yes. And Ian Stalker from Baxter Media is asking, what do you think is the most interesting aspect of Spain?
I think the most interesting aspect is definitely the different cultures that are influenced there. I mean, when you're there, certain sections of the city reflect different eras and different cultures. So, there's still Roman influences, there's Catholic and Islamic and even Jewish influences throughout the country.
And let's see here. And Ian is also asking, how would you rate Spanish beaches?
I would rate them very well. Spain's a very clean country, so they would definitely have the good beaches, and the Mediterranean is beautiful. So 5 out of 5, I guess.
Great. That's very good to know. And thank you so much, everyone, for your great questions. Those are fantastic. So I'd like to thank everyone that attended this webinar today. Thank you all so much for being here and for supporting the Baxter Student Ambassador Program in its 8th year. And Sierra, thank you so much for your fantastic presentation. It was
Thank
great
you for
having you here
having
with us
me.
today.
Thank you.
So me or one of my colleagues will be in touch over the next couple of weeks.
All right. Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Sierra. Take care, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye now. Have a nice weekend.
You too.